This year we're celebrating 10 years of Festival Too Funky. The biggest 3-day festival returns with 20 events, including dance battles, graffiti workshops, street food, a poetry slam, live music and performances, mic showcase, club nights, brunches, and a family rave. Catch some of the biggest headliners: Grammy Award nominee, US hip-hop legend, AZ.
You know to come up, stack it right.
Jungle Stars, the Ragga Twins, Brian G, Bassman, representing UK Garage, Sweet Female Attitude, drum and bass heads Ego Trippin' and MC Shabba D, Jamaican dancehall diva Lisa Mercedes, singer and MC Eva Lazarus with live band, our very own Queen Mills.
He said he liked my body and shape.
One Extras, Sir Spyro, and a string of DJs and hosts, including Day Day, Pied Piper, MC Creed, Silk, Double S, Simon Schoolboy Phillips, DJ Doo-Wop, and a whole lot more. Expect a fusion of hip-hop, UKG, dancehall, R&B, house, dub, jungle, amapiano, drum and bass, reggae, lovers rock, and Afrobeat. Festival Too Funky from the 26th to 28th of May at Too Funky Complex, Leicester. Tickets online from Skiddle or check toofunkyarts.co.uk for more info and full listing. Special thanks goes out to our headline sponsor, the Music License. And remember, this year's theme is Pace.
Radio Too Funky and Too Funky Street Kitchen team up for summer 2023 to bring you Friday Flavors. We launch Bank Holiday Friday, 26th of May as part of Festival Too Funky Weekender from 5 till 10 p.m. Don't forget, Festival Too Funky's after party 10 p.m. onwards. Free entry for all. Children welcome till 9 p.m. We have super menus of street food on sale. Million flavors with Caribbean street food. Pizza Buddies brings you authentic Italian pizza. The Bubble Waffle Bar by Stacey Licious Case. Loreo's delight selection of sweets and treats. Taking control of your summer jam. Radio Too Funky DJs. Atish, Glamour, Black Vinyl Magic, KMS, Cypher, Fishhead, Rachel Rodriguez, Muggsy, Kai, Woody, and Geth. Will also be a children's bouncy castle. A variety of games to keep them entertained. This is all taking place at 23 New Park Street, Leicester, LE3. For more information, visit toofunkycomplex.co.uk. Friday Flavors back for summer 2023.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Reggae, lovers rock, and classic soul grooves. Part of Festival Too Funky. Spend your bank holiday Sunday with us as we take you to the good times. Sunday, May 28th at the Too Funky Street Kitchen, Leicester, LE3, 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. The first 100 tickets are free. Get yours online today via Skiddle. Entry with this ticket by 10:30 p.m. and £5 thereafter. Step and sing along to sweet music you love with your DJs. Specialist Touch, DJ Wanted, Black Vinyl Magic, Atish, Fishhead, Attraction B, and Culture D. Soul food menu on sale on the night, courtesy of G Mars Kitchen. For more information and schedules for Festival Too Funky Weekender, visit toofunkyarts.co.uk. Reggae, lovers rock, and classic soul cruise. Bank holiday Sunday, 28th of May. Be there.
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Radio Too Funky, or visit our website radiotoofunky.co.uk.
Some yellow dickies. I knew he was a hoe because his neck had hella hickeys. I said it's nice to meet you, shook his hand and it was sticky. I looked into his eyes and then that's when it hit me. I said, oh Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. I just might let you come into my life and waste my time. I don't see no other man, boy you done turn me blind. You make me deaf cause I believe you even when you lying. Never met a nigga like this. Wanna cash in all her chips. Tell my friends I'll see you later, girl, I gotta dip. Cause I got a meeting with a man named T. But I call him Rich. venture. These richer than Bill Gates. Kiss me wetter than Superior Lake. Takes me on $100,000 dates, and I don't even have to give him cake. He just call me baby, he don't call me Tate. He whip up that white girl, he beatin' okay. I just might marry that nigga today, but then I found out that Mickey was gay. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you blow my mind. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you blow my mind. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you blow my mind.
Hey, Mickey, maybe I could be your mini. I'm about my cheddar, but I never been no snitchies at them lippies. Flexing all that cash, but you acting like a kitty. This ain't Disney. Real boss leaving quick. What I look like I'm too lit. Hey, baby, I'm with Tay. She a Taurus, I'm a Cancer. Where my college USC, my alma mater. Is a booty real? Girl, does it even matter? Cause so weedy breaking hearts, and you know these hoes can't stand us. FaceTime here, got my booty shorts on. If you gonna whip it out, boy, it better be loud. Wait, hold on one sec, put my lip gloss on. Yeah, I'm loving when I see when I'm looking at my phone. Hey, Mickey, can you take my picky? I look good at every angle, so just take it. I ain't picky.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you blow my mind. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you blow my mind. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey.
You know what I choose? I'm a spiffer, don't make blues. I like good weed all day and night. Right vibes. See my nerve make me loud. I say I like good weed all day and night. Right vibes. Whoa. See my nerve and smoke I come to me eyes. Up fresh from the farm, no preserve, no added. Burn it in your nostril, you feel it in your forehead. THC and the general married. Get to heal the nation, foundation solid. One Caliban in the morning, just won't do. No sir, Mr. Junta very comment we round up a few. I went them and go do for stop the ganja man crew. 1 puff from the smoke and Babylon the CIO. On the beach of Malibu, sitting in the night show. Looking at my life and look at what I've been through. Marijuana, me not think nobody love you life. I like good weed all day and night. Right vibe. See my nerve make me laugh. I say I like good weed all day and night. Right vibe.
Top selector number 1.
See my nerve and smoke I come to me.
Good weed up in my blunt, past the chronic up front. Herb by the count, pay the cutter every month. Meditation is the highest, pass me chalice. Real ganja baby inside Buckingham Palace. New York to West Coast, love that green. Ganja man then pull up on the Babylon scream. From herbs aroma, atmosphere so clean. I don't want to wake up if this is living a dream. Nickels and dimes, no hard times, you never know until you try. Say goodbye to the bad guy. Had I not known, half blown, homegrown, rock and rolling stone. Oh Mary Jane, could you please take me home?
I like good weed all day and night. Right vibe. See my nerve make me loud. I say I like good weed all day and night. Right vibe. See my nerve and smoke I come to me eye. Name them say it commercialized. Still my homie up top doing 20 for life. Still marginalized, though them say legalize. Herb we meditate, invite the life. In a LA all day, burn it all night. Jamaican marijuana is the people's choice. Snoop Dogg, what you say? Tell them what you like. Yeah,
California Kush, straight off the bush. Never leave me alone. You ever smoke weed that touch your brain and touch your bone? Put you in a zone while you chillin' all alone. With your girl on the phone, listening to Nina Simone. Yep, now I'm gone.
I like good weed all day and night. Right vibe. See my nerve make me loud. I say I like good weed all day and night. Right vibe. See See my nervous smoke a come through me eyes.
On 95 FM, on DAB, and online radio2funky.co.uk.
How you guys feeling tonight?
Leicester's black music and arts station, Radio 2 Funky.
Radio 2 Funky indeed, broadcasting live, DAB online, Radio 2 Funky on 95 FM with your host this morning up till midday, Mahmood, here on the Arts Business Show. We had two beautiful tracks to kick the show off. We had Baby Tate and Saweetie, the original, I suppose the reworked version from the Tony Basil song from 1981, the year that I migrated to Leicester. There's no connection between those two events, I hasten to add. Followed by Buju Banton and Snoop Dogg with High Life. Now here we are, 10:11 and some change with some seconds. I'm gazing out of the window. It doesn't look particularly brilliant here. We had a bit of a torrential downpour a few days ago, but it's forecast to be good on the old temperature scale. If you like the new convention of degrees C, it's about 16 degrees here. It's going to drop to as low as 9. And over the next few days, it's going to hover as high as 18, 19 degrees. But we have that horrible icon with the rain cloud being shown. But obviously, if you want water for your garden, if you want water for your crops, if you like the rain, you don't like the sunshine, then obviously that's a good day for you. And here we are, Thursday morning. What a hectic few days it's been. Did you notice there's been quite a major event that took place over the weekend? I'll give you a clue. It's something beginnings with the word coronation. Did you take part? Did you watch it on the TV? Did you go down to London? Were you one of the lucky people invited? Did you catch the highlights? Did you celebrate? What did you do? But it's a massive event, not just for the UK, but a massive international and national event as well. And after 10:30, I'm just going to drop in some stats. I love my stats about the coronation in terms of the cost, the impact, what went down, and all the rest of it. We've also had a very interesting time for Leicester City. I know it's not a football programme show. In my office, I've got a United fan, not me, I hasten to add. I've got a Leicester City fan, not me, I hasten to add, though it is my second adopted team. And I'm following the team that's for the patron saint of lost causes, Spurs. So it's been it's always a very turbulent conversation in the office here, depending on how each team has gone by. And Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, the second one of this month, wasn't a particularly brilliant one for Leicester. But in theory, on paper, they could still escape the drop with 3 games to go. Let's have a breath. Let's have some more music. And this is Bazzy B for you, followed by Champion.
Would you cry or would you try to get me? Tell me now, I want you to be clear. Tell me now, I need you to be clear. I will wait for you, I will wait for you. I will wait for you. Would you cry or would you try to get me? Tell me now, I want you to be clear. Tell me now, I need you to be clear. I will wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you. Wait for you. I will wait for you. Wait for you. I will wait for you. Wait for you.
I care for you. Can't say I ain't there for you. Every day before I hit the roads, I say a prayer for you. I know I ain't been perfect, so much I'll put you through. That's why I call you the world's greatest. Got the bell for you, yeah, it's yours. Champione. Black eye, we hit the road, ballet. Bring all the my highs and all my lows, my cure, my antidote. If they ever try with you, I'm prepared to die for you. You turn my house into a home. I give you life, you make it grow. I set you up to set the tone. You know what's up, it's set in stone. You're the world's greatest. Champione. All the things we've been through, you never gave up on me. Our love's made for the ages. No tears, baby, just praises. See both of us and our baby. Champione.
Roe v. Wade, that's crazy. Would've been us two raising a baby. You wanna do right, bet that first. One of the sun back, get that. Dog but I'm yours, I'ma fetch that. Be right there when I get that text back. 100% I expect that. Should've just spoke my man, I regret that. JJ Jr. vacate soon, I played it trooper. Agent Boomer, you should stay up late, it's cool now. Messi left, now I'm back like a Cunha. Went for scandal, good at the Luya. Touch on the heart, came from the medulla. Head by instead of Matuda, head by instead of intruder.
You turn my house into a home. I give you life, you make it grow. I set you up to set the tone. You know what's up, it's set in stone. You're the world's greatest. Champione. All the things we've been through, you never gave up on me. Our love's made for the ages. No tears, baby, just praises. See both of us and our baby. Champione.
Champion girl, you are me, gold medalist. When me now with you, all me do is reminisce, girl. Ride it like a bike, I make sure you pedal it. It's not just friends with benefits, yeah. Work well together cause we both perfectionists. Problems disappear, how you know if you do magic tricks. Them can't style me, cause me come with better fits. Anytime you feel lonely, remember, I'm your therapist. Don't be afraid to take a risk.
You turn my house into a home. I give you life, you make it grow. I set you up to set the tone. You know what's up, it's set in stone. You're the world's greatest. Champione. All the things we've been through, you never gave up on me. Our love's made for the ages. No tears, baby, just praises. See both of us and our baby. Champione. Champione.
Got what it takes to be a presenter? Or looking to gain valuable experience behind the scenes in radio? Why not join us at Radio 2 Funky? To get involved or for more information, contact info@radio2funky.co.uk or call us on 011 62 55 9837. Radio 2 Funky.
And absolutely, folks, and if you're listening to that and thinking, oh, I'm in that 16 to 35 age bracket, I fancy giving that a go, but I don't have any background, I don't have any experience, but I love music and I think I'm going to have an impact, I want to be a tastemaker and I want to get involved with Radio 2 Funky, then what you need to do, you need to drop a line, email us at info@radio2funky.co.uk. You don't need experience. You don't need to have done this before. You're going to get wonderful support, training and guidance here. And it's a great way to develop your own personal skills, your communication skills, give you something different. If you fancy developing a career in the world of radio, then it's a great platform to do that. Get involved with a really, really great, positive black music arts community station here. Then you could do no worse than joining Radio 2 Funky family itself. We had two wonderful tracks there just listened to. That was Buju Banton, that was Champion Aim, and Bazzy B for You. And it's 10:20 and some seconds. So we're going to have a little look at the coronation that happened over the weekend. It's an event that's been planned for quite a long time, so it's not just in the last couple of weeks. An event of that magnitude requires an incredible amount of planning, logistics and all the rest of it. Some of the pre-preparatory stuff would have been done some time ago, but the execution and implementation was pretty fantastic, and it was an event that was enjoyed by hundreds of millions of people, not just in the UK, but around the world as well. And I'm just looking at some of the numbers that have come out from the coronation terms and comparing that to previous coronations, talking about the impact that's had. That's coming after 10:30. We're also going to be talking about substance over form. That's a weird phrase, isn't it? So if you are a arts business, if you're a freelancer, if you are engaged in any commercial or social activity, one of the questions you're going to ask yourself is, what form should my business be? Should it be a partnership? Should it be a CIC? Should it be a sole trader? Should it be a limited company? Well, today I'm going to focus on the merits. I'll also mention some drawbacks of being what's called a limited company. What does it actually mean? And let's debunk some of the myths that goes behind that as well. So that's going to come closer to about 11 o'clock onwards. So carry on listening. You're going to get some updates. There's a forecast bank interest rate coming out today, going from 4.25% to 4.5%. What does it mean? Should we worry? What impact is it going to be for us? And it's not just householders, by the way, mortgage holders that are going to be affected. All of us will be affected in some way, shape or form. Take a breath. Shall we have some more music, folks? Why not? And this is a song called Dancing in the Dark by Rihanna. Let's take it away, Rihanna.
I wanna dance in the dark. We gonna light up the night. Come on, I wanna dance in the dark. Come on, we gonna light up the night. Underdogs dance in the middle of the night. Can see the night skies in the mirror of your eyes. If you gon' dance, make sure you got the rhythm. Make sure that your heart beats with the rhythm. I wanna run wild in the middle of the night, right under the moon, but it's glowing in the night. Nothing in between our skins but the rhythm. Make sure that your heart beats with the rhythm. The night time is the right time. I wanna dance in the dark and never stop. We gonna light up the night like shooting stars. Whenever you hear the sound, don't be alarmed. Ooh, 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 dancing in the dark. I wanna dance in the dark and never stop. We gonna light up the night like shooting stars. Whenever you hear the sound, don't be alarmed. Ooh, 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 dancing in the dark. Underdogs dance in the middle of the night. Out here with the stars like the creatures of the night. If you gon' dance, make sure you got the rhythm. Make sure that your heart beats with the rhythm. I wanna dance in the middle of the night and see the night skies in the mirror of your eyes. If you gon' dance, make sure you got the rhythm. Make sure that your heart beats with the rhythm. The night time is the right time. I wanna dance in the dark and never stop. We gonna light up the night like shooting stars. Whenever you hear the sound, don't be alarmed. Ooh, 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 dancing in the dark. I wanna dance in the dark and never stop. We gonna light up the night like shooting stars. Whenever you hear the sound, don't be alarmed. Ooh, 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 dancing in the dark. I wanna dance in the dark. Come on, we gonna light up the night. Come on, I wanna dance in the dark. Come on, we gonna light up the night. I wanna dance in the dark and never stop. We gonna light up the night like shooting stars. Whenever you hear the sound, don't be alarmed. Ooh, 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 dancing in the dark. I wanna dance in the dark and never stop. We gonna light up the night like shooting stars. Whenever you hear the sound, don't be alarmed. Ooh, 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 dancing in the dark.
Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it.
Work some, I like the way that she do that, go on and twerk some. Pop it, cause you poppin', baby, when you drop it down, you might hurt some. Had to check your demeanor, you the meanest I done seen it. Best believe that I'ma throw it if you make it go berserk. Okay, I love the way that she throw it back when I hit that from behind. I might have to flip and hit it from the front because the mama, you fine. She say she fiendin' for this chocolate and y'all know good toxic, so I had to tell her stop it. Steady screaming, it's mine. Okay, let's heat it up, tweak it up. Look so good, might eat it up. When she shake that Uchi Wale, she must got some freaking face down. Yeah, so speed it up. Don't need no permission, switch positions when I get it. You know what's up with me, bow leg, little. They ain't cut like me. Tell your baby daddy it's a smile and he can't with me. You only live once, so get on top when you come ride on me. You so poetic, babe, you screaming YOLO when you riding.
Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Bite that lip, make them faces, bite that pillow. Don't you say just that make them crazy. Don't got time for conversation. Eat that, I'm impatient. I'm toxic, but amazing. With a big gold thing, she like how my dress swing. Lost my golden ticket, but I got a plan B, man. Give her back strokes, my leg up, playing with the. She tryna say my name smacked on the sis, they super thumb in the. My little tighten up, she about to. So what? I need that good stuff. After I beat it up, I eat it up. That's on repeat. After I beat it up, I eat it up. That's on repeat. Sucking on the toes, eyes roll. I done snatch her soul. Digging in my back, speaking tongues. I think she possessed. She about to. I'm about to. What a mess. Smacked on that. She said, super, you the best. She wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it. Ooh, she wildin', ooh, she shaking, she look bad like she can take it.
Get in touch with us at Radio 2 Funky via WhatsApp or text service on 07554 18030.
Dancing in the Dark, Rihanna, followed by Big Baby Uchi, and it's 10:29 and a few seconds here on the Arts Business Show, where we have the migration, the getting together, having that cup of coffee of the world of business, which I inhabit, and the world of the arts, which I also inhabit, albeit not as a performer, but having been involved in that sort of sector, that community environment, that arts and social enterprise space for quite a number of decades here. That's what we're trying to bring to the show, that mixture, that flavour. Now, it's a community station all said and done, so we do love to read out bulletins on the show. And here's one that's a great event that starts today, and it goes up to and including Saturday the 13th of May. Now, are you a fan of UK Asian film? Do you know much about that? It's a wonderful genre. Perhaps you should explore that. Now, this year's UK Asian Film Festival has a wonderful theme called Celebrating Our Stories. The UK Asian Film Festival promotes gender equality in cinema, and this festival has been a force to champion South Asian film male cinema and celebrate women in cinema. So there's going to be a wonderful selection of South Asian movies playing at the Phoenix Cinema only this week, as well as a masterclass by award-winning South Asian filmmaker and director Alankrita Srivastava, who will discuss her craft and stellar career. So that's taking place this Thursday up to and including the 13th of May. Check out the Phoenix website, check out what's on in Leicester to get more details as to what's occurring.
Are you a small business looking to get your message heard? Why not advertise with us? We have a range of ideas that can help grow your business, cut through the social media noise, and talk directly to your audience. Contact info@radio2funky.co.uk or call us on 011 62 55 9837. Don't believe radio works? You're listening, aren't you?
Testing, all right. You can cut out that other.
Hey, yo, aim.
Yeah. Run it up, Blondo.
Hey, see y'all from Texas, where we should ride in swangers and put diamonds in our necklace. Pour drink inside my lemonade till it look like a Pepsi. See, I come from the D where we got shades and we be flexing. If you ain't from my state, then you should know don't mess with Texas. Hey, we always strapped, we keep our weapons. My mama from the A, she slowed it down for me at 7. Used to think Pimp C was a guy before he went to heaven. I knew what pushing P was before Gunna even said it. Hey, C0 taught me keep my weapon and never trust a nigga or cause it's expected. No killers from the country, they ride horses and throw seldom. Got niggas in the East, ride ATVs with Mac 11s.
First off, you better remember what that sign say before you come down here. Don't mess with Texas.
Hey, see y'all from Texas. We got Beyonce, Trey the Truth, and we can't forget Devin. Big shout out to them boys, and I can't forget about them Texans. I've been feeling like Luca, how I bought that shit a blessing. #1 rule in Texas, keep it solid, ain't no telling. Hey, and always keep your weapon. Try me other guys, we got no choice but stretch them. If he survive these that first bet, he that stretch them. These diamonds, I got water, might just go Johnny my next one. Hey, this Texas tea is what I drink. Sauce Walker had us dripping, Sauce having thin on drink. Young Nasa had us jigging, dipping, ain't know how to think. Now I got all these stepping, swiping, catching plays. Hey.
Money on my mind like the 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 cartel. Whipping, watch them pray on the martel. I'm a real what you can't tell. Living life like a villain, this ain't Marvel. Loading up, that's the art. In the pot, I make the odds sell. Licked another, now the car smell. The old team full of like we Arsenal. Team full of that's the play the runners. Runners on my feet when I ride with brothers. Lot 5 summers spent my life in gutters. Trapping from the gutter, I had to make the bread. Mum kicked me out, I didn't make my bed. In the head, I hate the fed. Tell him on a ped, I'll leave you matey. I got him cooking in the kitchen, trying to make up. She's bagging up the pack, that's Griselda. Started in the trap with my elder. On my back like I'm Zelda. Got him by the shelter. Donnie thinks he's bad with his belcher. Till I strip him with the like a Nelco. All it took was time, I can help you. Now I make you run the line, that's my helper. Money on my man like the cartel. Whipping, watch him put it on the martel. I'm a real what you can't tell. Living life like a villain, this ain't Marvel. Loading up the that's the hard shell. In the pot, I make the odds sell. Licked another now the car smell. The old team full of like we Arsenal. Team full of like I'm Arsene Wenger. CC runners, but that the Quengo. Django's back and now my is Pengo. I'm counting the stack while she makes the blender. Sweets for them like a nectar vendor. I'm setting all these trends, call me Mr. Trender.
sliding in a Benz, I got a mixed agenda. I'm the boss of the ends, he's just a pretender. No belly on my face when I'm rapping. I could catch another case while I'm chatting. And I got bags in the safe from the trapping. And I just been locked away for an. And I got 2 consec for us. I took a step in my crep, started dabbing. Trapping and rapping, I'm clapping. And when I'm trapping, I'm stacking my slapping. Money on my man like the cartel. Whipping, watch and put it on the martel. I'm a real what you can't tell. Living life like a villain, this ain't Marvel. Loading up the that's the hard shell. In the pot, I make the hard sell. Licked another now the car smell. The whole team full of that we Arsenal.
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at Radio 2 Funky, or visit our website radio2funky.co.uk.
Welcome back, folks, to Leicester's premier black music and art station, Radio 2 Funky, on the Arts Business Show 95 FM. And did I mention we're broadcasting DAB online as well as 95 FM? So lots of ways to listen to this wonderful show, and a big kiss out there, is that the right phrase to use, to all our wonderful listeners there. And if you're new to the station, new to the show, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're somebody who listens to the show regularly, thank you very much for your lending us your ears and listening to the not just my show but all the wonderful shows that are being broadcast by Radio 2 Funky. We had Big Czar Plug, Texas, followed by Cartel, Django J. And here we are, 10:37 and some change, just come up to 10:38. I'm looking at my window. Yeah, unfortunately there are those spots of rain. I have my trusty coat there, which I shall have to don as I walk back to my office afterwards here. Now, this is a community station also done, so we love to broadcast what's going on in the wonderful community of Leicester and its environment. So if you've got a project, an event, an activity that you'd like not just me, but all the other broadcasters to read out over the air, then send in to info@radio2funky.co.uk, market bulletin board, let us know what's going on. And as I go back to my trusty bulletin sheet, I'll show it to the camera. So if you're watching live there, you can see me in my sort of blue hoodie. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of context there, waving this piece of paper thinking, what on earth is he talking about? Now, Friday the 12th of May, i.e. tomorrow. Do you have any plans? Well, you have an event going on called Gallery Lates Altered. Now, this is an after-hours experience at Attenborough Arts Centre this Friday. It's a free immersive art experience, and it's going to showcase the best in local music, dance, performance and visual arts in both the arts gallery and the cafe. So come dressed to impress and kick off the weekend in style. But there is a PS, only good vibes are allowed. And it takes place at the Attenborough Arts Centre between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. as well. Let's take a breath. Let's go from the old diaphragm and let's read out another event that's going on. This is all on the bulletin board. So again, if you've got something going on that affects the community, it's a project, an activity in the arts, in the social enterprise, in the community charity space, whatever, an event that you think our listeners should hear about, then obviously send us the details and we can add it to the bulletin board as well. Now, this Friday and up until the 14th of May is the Darbar Festival. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. The Darbar Festival is an urban, contemporary and classical festival celebrating the cultural relationship between the UK and India. It explores the many creative influences generated by this shared and evolving history. Now, because sharing great music is like sharing food, it crosses and transcends all boundaries. Now, the festival is going to be held at the Curve Theatre. There are 4 different events to check out from live music to a yoga class. A little PS, I started yoga a few weeks ago. If you're a practitioner of yoga, Namastasi. If you're not, then Namastasi to you as well. So that looks to be quite an exciting event there. So be curious, discover something new and be thrilled. If you want more information and to get tickets, then log on to the Curve website to find out more. I'm just going to give my little vocal box a tiny bit of a rest. And here's a question, folks. How much do you think, and no cheating by looking on the wonderful thing that's called the internet, how much do you think, or the estimated cost of the coronation cost the UK? No, I'm not talking about the immense benefits it brings in, but what do you think the cost was? And the last coronation that was held back in 1953, 70 years ago, how much do you think the cost of that coronation was as well? So think on that one. I'm going to share a few stats about the coronation after we hear from Chloe and Burn It Down.
I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'm not gonna wait up at night. I'm not gonna answer your calls whenever you're down. I'm not gonna bleach your clothes. I'm not gonna do you like that. What I really, really want, it's a cheap bag. Find another boo from the hood with some tats. Give him what's yours, show him I could throw it back. Maybe then, baby, you'll know how to act. If I cheat back, send him new pics in that outfit you like. Say I'm with my girls while he's spending the night. Maybe then, baby, you'll know how to act. If I cheat back, pulling a you on you, that's what I wanna do. I know you wouldn't like that. If I cheat back, and I'ma ride it like a rodeo. He taught me some new tricks, I'll add that to my portfolio. I might even make a video, and if you ever see it, you'd be sicker than polio. Damn. Cause crying ain't work for you, nothing ain't work for you. So the best thing for me to do,
soon as you finish, watch you start crying. And don't you feel bad? Don't you feel sad? Let that sink in. Real love, not revenge. Shorty finally found herself fucking on someone else. Your mag on your heart still here. I could've spied up the cameras in the crib. I inspired you, it is what it is. That's my little twin I see. Turn to win I see, and revenge I see. My twin I see, my little twin I see. The beauty of you, that's what do it for me. No one above you, girl, you the best. Should've never let you down, feeling embarrassed. Temptation hunting me like you never imagined. Have some compassion, don't be so dramatic. I wanna know exactly
baby,
what
if
happened.
I want you back, find another boo from the hood with some tats. Give him what's yours, show him I can throw it back. Maybe then, baby, you'll know how to act. Don't cheat back, send him new pics in that outfit you like. Say I'm with my girls while he's spending the night. Maybe then, baby, you'll know how to act. If I cheat back, I was never good enough for you. You say you don't believe monogamy, the games you play Monopoly. You lie too much, you trying me. The dick was good at blinding me. You could fuck another girl, she never be a half of me. See my ass, I cut around. You ain't about to make me shout. I'ma call the homie, he gon' bend me for another round. Baby, pour another round, calling for another round. I'ma drink you out my system, never lonely, I'ma cheat back. Find another boo from the hood with some tats. Give him what's yours, so him I can throw it back. Maybe that, baby, you'll know how to act. Oh, if I cheat back, send him no pics in that outfit like. Say I'm with my girls, but he's spending the night. You know how to act. If I cheat back,
don't you feel bad? Let that sink in. Love, not revenge. Cheating on me soon as you finish, watch you start crying.
Smoking on this gas. Girl, I'm hoping we gon' last. Yeah, I love always feel like home. I'm hoping I can change it to no wrong. Shawty, know I need her. Shawty, know I need her. Shawty, know she's perfect. She just like Mona Lisa. Shawty, know I need her. Shawty, know I need her. Shawty, know she's perfect. She just like Mona Lisa.
Wish you could see yourself out of mine. You know I'm always gonna need you on my side. Shawty know I beat it out, make it sing like Selena. You the wet every time I go fiend. Let that touch you, little baby, keep her. Shawty know I be keeping my Nina.
I'm gonna set this place on fire, burn it down entirely. Say Babylon, for your time has expired. Brimstone, thunder, and lightning. I'm gonna set this place on fire, burn it down entirely. Say Babylon, for your time has expired. Brimstone, thunder, and lightning.
Bust more shots than Neymar. Drop bombs, near palm, to the car, stay arm. Babylon a figure stay palm. Kills on E-Cup, then trip on. Slaughter the church at Charleston. Assassination, marksman, 45 in a female. Innocent bloodshed upon their shoulders. As the day goes, their heart grows colder. Undocumented what them do up in the folder. Judgment day are forward and it not prowler. Flashing me lots, here come the rats. Highway gash, hit them a catch. No me not have until Babylon cash. Them head full of gas, so them pass me the mark. Snap on my fingers, them gone in a flash. Anything but it clean at the trash. Dust to dust and ash to ash.
I'm gonna set this place on fire, burn it down entirely. Say Babylon, for your time has expired. Brimstone, thunder, and lightning. I'm gonna set this place on fire, burn it down entirely. Say Babylon, for your time has expired. Brimstone, thunder, and lightning.
So me, bomb them already, make them think I won't try again. Guess who? I again. Daniel out to the lion then. Comfy burn a fire pan vampire and the liar them. From who I send the order straight down to the fire them. So much trouble in the world, it's hard for people to smile again. And who can I and I depend? It's hard to even find a friend. So much on the mind and there is no one to hire them. So much and to let them we get to use the fire them. Flashing me lots, here come the rats. Highway gash, hit them a catch. No me not have until Babylon cash. Them head full of gas, so them pass me the mark. Snap on my fingers, them gone in a flash. Anything but it clean at the trash. Dust to dust and ash to ash.
I'm gonna set this place on fire, burn it down entirely. Say Babylon, for your time has expired. Brimstone, thunder, and lightning. I'm gonna set this place on fire, burn it down entirely. Say Babylon, for your time has expired. Brimstone, thunder, and lightning.
You see that fire where we blazing? You see that fire where we blazing? You see the fire where we blazing? That is our generation.
As we are step forward, we are step on Babylon. Brother, we're moving forward.
I'm gonna set this place on fire, burn it down entirely. Say Babylon, for your time has expired. Brimstone, thunder, and lightning. I'm gonna set this place on fire, burn it down entirely. Say Babylon, for your time has expired. Brimstone, thunder, and lightning. Set this place on fire.
Leicester's black music and art station, Radio 2 Funky.
Welcome back, folks. That's Chloe Cheapback and Burn It Down with Joe and Johan Marley. 10.50 and some change. £100 million is the estimated cost of the coronation, 50 to £100 million in that sort of ballpark. The final numbers haven't actually arrived. Comparatively, the last coronation held back in 1953 cost, according to these are the stats from Statistica, they cost $20.5 million. That was the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. So if you take into account inflation and all the rest of it, it seems a much bigger cost here. But the interesting thing I noticed when I look at 1953 and go back even further, George VI, his coronation cost 24.8 million. George V in 1911, 17.4. Victoria, more modest affair in 1838, 6.2. William IV, back in 1831, 3.6. And George IV in 1821 is £20.9 million. Based on media reports, by the way, not validated, but those are ballpark estimates itself. So that's one side of it. I think you've got to take into account that you haven't got a like-for-like comparison. So we are very much in the television age as well. So in other words, in terms of the cost of staging the events, in terms of the comparative crowds and all the rest of it, that's the outlay that's seen, funded by the Exchequer, well, funded by us predominantly. But also there's the flip side. So we live in a much smaller world because of social media, TV, film and all the rest of it. So the audience for the coronation was much bigger, far vaster and all the rest of it. If you're thinking, by the way, whatever your stance is on the money, the royalty has always been a mixed bag of things over the centuries here, and even if you go back to some of the previous monarchs as such, there's always been a cohort of people who felt the monarchy was not necessarily productive, not necessarily a big participative event on the coronation itself. So don't run away with the idea that our views on the monarchy are only for this particular time. It's always enjoyed varied fortunes over the centuries. Now, what we've got to take into account as well is the impacts that it brings to certain sectors, in terms of hospitality, in terms of tourism, in terms of the ripple-down effect, in terms of the spotlight that it gives Britain here as well. So like it in all things life as well as business and events, you can't just look on one side of the coin, you've got to look at it as a whole collective itself. From people I've spoken to and all the rest of it, wonderful event, greatly enjoyed by all. But yeah, some interesting stats on the cost of the coronation here, but obviously the impact it does. Some reports say, because obviously Monday was a bank holiday following the coronation that was last Saturday, is a great celebration, but for some industries that are not directly affected by things like the coronation, that's a loss of a day, an extra day's pay potentially, bit of an impact on productivity. So it has varying effects depending on which sector you are actually in. Now, folks, by the way, there is one more bank holiday coming up at the end of this month, I believe. On the 29th of May, we have our last bank holiday of this particular month, and then it becomes a bit barren, doesn't it, for bank holidays until much later in the year. I think August might actually be the next bank holiday that is to arrive. Let's take a breath. Now, before we dive back into some music here, these two announcements that I'm going to make off the bulletin board are connected. Now, on Friday the 26th to Sunday the 28th, drum roll, it's the 10th anniversary of Festival Too Funky, and it's going to be a wonderful festival event. Now, the full programme's already been published, so hop on to www.toofunkyarts.co.uk to see the full programme. There's live music that's featured in all genres, a family rave, a graffiti workshop, DJ sets, a dance competition, poetry slam, and much, much more than I've actually read out on this particular bulletin. Now, it's worth noting this is Leicester's only festival dedicated to representing black music and arts, so make sure you don't miss out. Now, connected to that is about, do you fancy actually getting involved in the festival? Do you fancy volunteering? You've got until Friday the 19th, by the way, to apply. A message via info@toofunkyarts.co.uk. Put those dentures back in, Mahmood. Wobble your head a bit. Now, if you're thinking, why should I volunteer? Well, you get an incredible opportunity to get invaluable experience at the biggest festival Too Funky yet. And you're going to get first-hand experience in festival organisation, opportunities in events management, media content creation, event setup, ushering, data collection, social media. Great opportunities to get involved here. I've been a volunteer in various guises for about quite a number of years here. I'm not going to give my age away, just in case you're looking on the broadcast, you're thinking, what a young looking man that we have on there. But it's something worth exploring. To find out more, email info@toofunkyarts.co.uk to find out more about how you can get involved with the 10th anniversary of Festival Too Funky, taking place the 26th to the 28th of May. Mark that date in your diary. Let's have a breath. Let's play a couple of tracks. Now, after 11 o'clock, I'm going to be talking bank interest rates. So if you're in business, you're an organisation, you've got a community project, or just an individual living in Leicester, interest rates, which are forecast to go up today to 4.5%. In relative terms, they've been the highest for about the last 16 years anyway, at 4.25%, what's called base rate. It affects everybody in some way or fashion. Even if you haven't got a mortgage, it will affect you nevertheless. So I'm going to comment on that after 11 o'clock. And then also going to be talking about ways that businesses organise themselves with a special focus and spotlight on the merits and advantages of having a limited company, what it means, and we're going to de-jargonise some of that as well. Now, this is Kira Feet, Lola Brooke, for your delight.
That's IMDEPENDNT. This for all the girls that been living stress-free. This for all the girls on a mission like me.
2 steps ahead like C. Fit as Infinity, I'm bad like Ree. I'm me, I'm she, I don't need no he. These black girl brands gonna hug my cheeks. What I look like being pressed. Gonna rock these pants like a freakin' dress. 100K, I don't see no less. Got my name engraved on American Express. This is for the girls independent like me. Got my feelings in my pockets, I don't wear it on my sleeves. Trips to Toronto, trips to Belize. My whole wardrobe paid off by me. Did it on my own before I was famous. Schedule busy, I don't plan on changing. Look in the mirror like I look amazing. Lola Brooke still ain't been nothing to play with.
Get that money, sis. Keep them on their tip. They be tryna press you, but you ain't pressed on it. I'm way too fine to be inside. I'm outside, having my own, booking my own trips. Don't ever let them disrespect you and call you out your name. You'll have these boys obsessed, they can't stop mentioning your name. I'm bad, I'm gorgeous, I'm very important. How you calling me a snack? You know I'm 7 courses. This is for the girls getting money. This is for the girls that don't need no man. This is for the girls that's in love with themselves. This is for all the girls that done did it by themselves. This is for all the girls that's IMDEPENDNT. This is for all the girls that been living stress-free. This is for all the girls on a mission like me. This for the girls. This for all the girls around the world. This is for the girls. This for all the girls around the world. Yeah, yeah.
This is for the girls on the grind. This is for the girls that'll work full time. This is for the self-made girls, yeah, the self-paid girls. But I never let them change your mind. Girls who fly, girls who thrive. Living out dreams money just can't buy. If you question your why, you feeling defeat, you gon' look in the mirror, repeat after me. I am humongous, I am resourceful. I am much better than ever could be. I am the substance of everything hoped for. I am the proof of what's never been seen. I am so beautiful, I am responsible. I am enough and my soul is complete. More than just suitable, I am a conqueror, worthy of love that is whole and complete, and that's on me.
This is for the girls getting money. This is for the girls that don't need no man. This is for the girls that's in love with themselves. This is for all the girls that done did it by themselves. This is for all the girls that's IMDEPENDNT. This is for all the girls that been living stress-free. This is for all the girls on a mission like me. This for the girls. This for all the girls around the world. This is for the girls. This for all the girls around the world. Yeah, yeah. This is for my girls. This is for my girls. Yeah. This is for my girls.
On 95 FM, on DAB, and online radio2funky.co.uk.
How you guys feeling tonight?
Leicester's black music and arts station, Radio 2 Funky.
And that, folks, was Kiara Feet. And we're just coming up to the advert break here. We're going to talk more after this.
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at Radio 2 Funky. Or visit our website, radio2funky.co.uk.
Everybody right now, can you hit it? So the speakers coming up if you hit it.
This year we're celebrating 10 years of Festival Too Funky. The biggest 3-day festival returns with 20 events, including dance battles, graffiti workshops, street food, a poetry slam, live music and performances, mic showcase, club nights, brunches, and a family rave. Catch some of the biggest headliners: Grammy Award nominee, US hip-hop legend, AZ.
You know to come up, stack it right.
Jungle Stars, the Ragga Twins, Brian G, Bassman, representing UK Garage, Sweet Female Attitude, Drum and Bass heads Ego Trippin' and MC Shabba D, Jamaican dancehall diva Lisa Mercedes, singer and MC Eva Lazarus with live band, our very own Queen Mills.
He said he liked my body in shape.
One Extras, Sir Spyro, and a string of DJs and hosts, including Day Day, Pied Piper, MC Creed, Silk, Double S, Simon Schoolboy Phillips, DJ Doo-Wop, and a whole lot more. Expect a fusion of hip-hop, UKG, dancehall, R&B, house, dub, jungle, amapiano, drum and bass, reggae, lovers rock, and Afrobeat. Festival Too Funky from the 26th to 28th of May at Too Funky Complex, Leicester. Tickets online from Skiddle or check toofunkyarts.co.uk for more info and full listing. Special thanks goes out to our headline sponsor, the Music License, and remember, this year's theme is Pace.
Radio Too Funky and Too Funky Street Kitchen team up for summer 2023 to bring you Friday Flavors. We launch Bank Holiday Friday, 26th of May as part of Festival Too Funky Weekender from 5 till 10 p.m. Don't forget, Festival Too Funky's after party 10 p.m. onwards. Free entry for all. Children welcome till 9 p.m. We have super menus of street food on sale. Million flavors with Caribbean street food. Pizza Buddies brings you authentic Italian pizza. The Bubble Waffle Bar by Stacey Licious Case. Loreo's delight selection of sweets and treats. Taking control of your summer jam. Radio 2 Funky DJs. Atish, Glamour, Black Vinyl Magic, KMS, Cypher, Fishhead, Rachel Rodriguez, Muggsy, Kai, Woody, and Guest. Will also be at Children's Bounty Castle. A variety of games to keep them entertained. This is all taking place at 23 New Park Street, Leicester, LE3. For more information, visit toofunkycomplex.co.uk. Friday Flavors back for summer 2023.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Reggae, lovers rock, and classic soul grooves. Part of Festival Too Funky. Spend your bank holiday Sunday with us as we take you to the good times. Sunday, May 28th at the Too Funky Street Kitchen, Leicester, LE3, 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. The first 100 tickets are free. Get yours online today via Skiddle. Entry with this ticket by 10:30 p.m. and £5 thereafter. Step and sing along to sweet music you love with your DJs. Specialist Touch, DJ Wanted, Black Vinyl Magic, Atish, Fishhead, Attraction B, and Culture D. Soul food menu on sale on the night, courtesy of G Mar's Kitchen. For more information and schedules for Festival Too Funky Weekender, visit toofunkyarts.co.uk. Reggae, lovers rock, and classic soul grooves. Bank Holiday Sunday, 28th of May. Be there.
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Radio 2 Funky, or visit our website radio2funky.co.uk.
Experience
you could be mine. You just leave it all up to me. We could have a good time. Don't have to be rich to be my girl. Don't have to be cool. Rule my world. Ain't no particular sign I'm more compatible with. I just want your extra time and your kiss. Yes. I think we'll dance. Women like girls rule my world. I said they rule my world. At your age, mama, not your shoe size. Maybe we could do the twirl. You don't have to watch Dynasty to have an attitude. You just leave it all up to me. My love will be your food. Yeah, you don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. I love my ridiculous time. Look at that hard work. I just want your extra time and your kiss.
One came out, enough time people fall out. Long time friend can disagree. It ain't always your shout. The road less traveled got the biggest lessons. Sometimes to expand there's growing pains. If they did you wrong and they got peppered, make sure you don't go back, it's not a game. Come your way. I hope blessings come your way. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. I don't doubt it, not one day. I hope blessings come your way. We're out here moving mountains. No man is an island. If I owe you apology, I'll give you apology. We all done things we regret. So when it's time to have some understanding, that don't mean take the my understanding and plan. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. I don't doubt it, not one day. I hope blessings come your way. My mama get all the glory. My mama and my daddy always put me first. That's why I give to like charity. My friends are my family, my chosen family. Anytime phone ring you need, I circle like call your way. Come your way. I hope blessings come your way. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. I don't doubt it, not one day. I hope blessings come your way. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. I don't doubt it, not one day. I hope blessings come your way. Come your way, come your way. I hope blessings come your way. I don't
in touch with us at Radio 2 Funky via WhatsApp or text service on 07554183030.
Welcome back, folks. That was Kiss by Prince and Come Your Way, Speech DeBelle. And it's 11:10, countdown from 3, and it's 11:11. All the 11s are lining up apart from the seconds itself. So here we are, 11th of May at 11:11, and it is now 11 seconds later, 2023, on the Arts Business Show here. This is your host, Mahmood, here looking after you, hopefully keep you entertained and informed up to midday, and then we're going to be joined by some fantastic DJs. When I say the word some, it's a bit of a word tick here. They're all wonderful DJs. At 12 till 2, we have Sandro with Rhythm Nation, followed by Wayne McDonald, Sugar Radio, tasty music for tasty people, between 2 till 4. And then you have Brett Costello, Urban Meltdown, playing urban and soul music between 4 and 6, followed by Vibes with LVT, Amapiano, hip-hop, R&B, between 6 and 8. And then, drum roll, between 8 and 10, we then have Dance House, if I can read my own writing, UK Garage, drum and bass. And then taking us up to the witching hour at midnight, 10 till 12, the golden age of hip-hop with DJ KMS. That's just Thursday's selection. Hop onto the website, radio2funky.co.uk, check out the schedule and look at the lineup of wonderful, wonderful DJs keeping you entertained throughout the week. So here we are, 11, 12 and a bit. I mentioned interest rates at the beginning of the show. I haven't checked the news recently, but when I checked it this morning, we're standing at 4.25%, what's called base rate. That's the Bank of England rate here. What other lenders charge you for whether you've got a credit card or a mortgage will be a rate typically different from the Bank of England base rate. But that's a base on which other lenders, other borrowers, etc. will fix the rates they will charge to borrowers, or they will give if you happen to be a deposit taker as well. And it's forecast to go up by 0.25% to 4.5%, and that's the highest it's been since around about 2016, if not longer. So the last 16 years. I apologise. So what does that mean? Now, about a third of the adult population in the UK, by the way, are mortgage holders. So it's likely to affect mortgage holders. Typically, you've got two types of mortgage that you can take out. That's the broad ones you have. You have something called an interest-only mortgage, which I'll outline in a second, or repayment mortgage. So let's imagine you want to buy a property, and I'm giving you just a very simple overview here, and it's going to cost you £100,000 to borrow that money, take into account deposits and everything else. So when you go to a lender, they can either say, OK, we'll give you 100 grand towards your property purchase, and you will pay us just the interest on that loan for the next, say, typically 20, 25 years. And when it gets close to the end of the mortgage term, then we want that 100 grand back from you as a lump sum. That's called an interest-only mortgage. Now, if your mortgage is fixed, so you've already got a deal with a lender and it's capped and it's fixed, you should be okay in the short term. However, if you're not, and you've got a mortgage that's, for example, it fluctuates according to what the interest rates movement are, it's going to be a much more expensive proposition for you. And many mortgage holders that I've seen, depending on how much they borrowed, will see their mortgage payments increase dramatically. Now, the other type of mortgage repayment you can have is called a repayment or a capital mortgage. And what it says is, okay, 100 grand you want to borrow over the next 20 odd years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out what that is into a monthly basis and include the interest on top. So each month that you pay your mortgage, you're paying back a little bit of the 100 grand that you borrowed, what numbers people call the capital sum, and you pay a little bit of interest as well. The way these things work, by the way, mortgage interest tends to be stacked at the front. So in the earlier years of your mortgage, you're only paying back the lender's profit, the interest on that debt, and eventually you'll start to chip away at the actual initial capital sum itself. So typically, 5-10 years into the mortgage, what you're paying, you're actually repaying some of that original sum. 20 odd years later, if that's the mortgage term, you've paid off the whole mortgage debt. Fantastic, good news. So fundamentally, interest rates movements can affect your mortgage repayments. Obviously not positively in that case, but negatively. Where else does it affect? Well, I'm going to talk about credit cards and businesses and a wider thing. Obviously, some positive news for savers. So if you haven't got a mortgage, you haven't got a loan, you haven't got a credit card, you're managing to save money, which is always a good thing. Then if you're putting it into a bank, putting it onto a deposit in a building society or whatever, then the building society or bank will give you something for that interest. So your interest you receive is going to be much greater. Currently, by the way, it's quite small. So up until about a year ago, you'd probably be lucky to receive anything on deposits because because interest rates are quite low. So that's a positive spin. If you are a saver, you'll get something back. Other ways it affects is credit cards, loans, and even if you haven't borrowed money, you haven't got credit cards, it will still impact on you, as I'll explain after our next couple of songs. This is Designer, Major Lazer and Major League, and Daniel Cesar.
I've been rocking my designer, nobody flyer. Boy, I teach you my like where to supply me, I no go fit I know the tiger. I can be your provider, be your sponsor. Oh yeah, check out more, green tomato. She want show me baby, my go, low-key and cool, low-key and good, oh na na. I be rocking my designer, nobody flyer. When I teach you my like where to supply me, I no go fit I know the tiger. I can be your provider, be your sponsor. Oh yeah, check out, green tomato. She want show me baby, I'm on my go, low-key and go, low-key and go, no, na, 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 na. I be rocking my where to supply me, I no go fit I know the tiger. I can be your provider, be your sponsor. Oh yeah, check out more, green tomato. She want show me baby, I'm on my go, low-key and go, low-key and go, low-key and go, oh na na. I be rocking my designer, oh la. I be rocking my designer, rocking my designer, yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong for writing this song, losing my head over you. And I'll be here, 'cause we both know how it goes. I don't want things to change. I pray they stay the same always. And I don't care if you're with somebody else. I'll give you time and space. Just know I'm not afraid. I'm always, always, ways. I'm always, ways. Pretty lady, used to walk with me down Bloor Street. Oh, what a time. And I still remember the fuss and the fight in the line. It's all fine, it'll always be mine. And maybe I'm wrong for writing this song, losing my head over you. And I'll be here, 'cause we both know how it goes. I don't want things to change. I pray they stay the same always. And I don't care if you're with somebody else. I'll give you time and space. Just know I'm not a phase. I'm always, always, I'm always, count on the shore as the stars in the sky. You can count on the shore as the sun will rise. My love for you ain't going nowhere. I will be
Leicester's Black Music and Arts Station, Radio 2 Funky.
Welcome back, folks. So we had designer Major Lazier and Major League and Daniel Cesar Summer Walker Always 11:23, nearly 11:24. Let's pick up that conversation again about interest rates movement. So we talked about mortgages and the various ways it can affect you. We've talked about credit cards, or just dipped into that side of credit cards. So if you've got a credit card, I think credit cards can be a really powerful, great way of actually managing your finances, but it can also be quite challenging if you let things slip as well. Now, I've had credit cards, I do have credit cards, I've had credit card debts, which has been eye-wateringly bad there as well. Interest rate movements on that will affect how much you're going to pay back the lender, the interest rate that's charged on any money that you haven't cleared. So typically, you get your credit card, you spot something, you eye something, you buy it, you use your credit card. More and more of us buy, they use credit cards for what you might call conventional spend, like shopping, food shopping or otherwise. So we use our credit card, the bill comes at the end of the month and it says you spent, for example, 500 quid. Now, if you're going to clear all of that completely, clear it down, and you're just using the credit card to get some time delay, a good way to get all your expenditure in one place, know what you're spending money on, you clear that balance in full, interest rates aren't going to affect you in that respect. If you're in a situation, you've got a month that's challenging, or you don't have enough money in the bank to clear your credit card in full, you might make a payment towards that money. Now, as soon as you do that, interest will be charged by the credit card company in respect, because effectively the money that's owed to the credit card company is you taking out a loan on that. Now, if you are in that situation and you've got interest being charged on your credit card debt here, it can be quite eye-watering, depending on what your credit card arrangement actually is. And when I was in London a couple of days ago, do some work. I saw an advertising hoarding for a well-known credit card company, no names mentioned, but it was with A and it ends in X, is that it was charging 79.4% what's called APR, annual percentage rate here. So interest rate rises will cause the amount of interest on top of it to be bigger. Now, here's the key thing, folks. There's a little tip. If you are in that situation, you're either paying the minimum amount on your credit card debt, or you're certainly not paying the full amount. If you can, I would certainly think about shifting the repayments to be a little bit higher. That way, not only do you clear the interest rate, which is effectively charged to the lender, but you're also paying back some of the initial amount you borrowed as well on the credit card. The smaller that capital balance, the less interest that's going to be clocked up there as well. We're going to have a chat about debt financing and managing your personal and business debts in a future episode, so keep your ears peeled. But generally speaking, interest rate rises cause your credit card bills to go up if you're not clearing it off in full. And as a little tip, I would always recommend pay more than the minimum repayment, because all you're doing is really just paying the interest off largely. You're not paying off any of the underlying debt that's accumulated, and that's not going to be good for you. If you miss out payments, by the way, it does affect your credit rating, and we don't want that at all. So how else do interest rates affect us? Well, businesses also. So we, as consumers and customers, will get affected indirectly. Businesses get directly. So when they invest money in buying new equipment, investing in staff, investing in their business, borrowing money, then obviously they're going to be charged more. And that means certain projects that are going to be undertaken may have to be delayed because the cost of obtaining money is going to be too expensive. It could be they're borrowing money to keep the business ticking over, providing funds for the business there as well. There'll be interest charged to the bank overdrafts here, higher cost, and then that's a decision time for the business. Do they pass that on to the consumer, the customer, the client, or do they absorb that themselves? That's always a tough thing to ask for. So interest rate increases will affect us as individuals and businesses in lots of different ways. The key question is, I suppose you could ask, is why do they do that, Mahmood? Well, I will tell you that after 11:30, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of flavour about our other theme, which we're going to pick up and talk about and probably come back to it next week, is on limited companies. So let us play a little track coming up to the half time at 11:30.
I'm on a whole nother level, I'm geeky. You think you with me, boy, you tweaking. Ready for war, I just need me a reason. I'm getting buckets in regular season. Honestly wondering when I'ma lose it. Come get your wifey, she with it, she choosing. Maybe I be driving itself, I be cruising. I got the game in my pocket. All of this rapping it just an option. I'm finna cook in this stew, Betty Crockett. I'm finna take off and rap like a rocket. Hop on a yacht in Miami and surf it. With hella they drinking and twerking. Don't post on stories, my shorty be lurking. Can't stop the grind for no it ain't worth it. Go to Milan for the week of the fashion. Addicted to dressing, I drip with a passion. Yo, know I'm that, just ask them. Look at the diamonds, they hitting, they dancing. I'm from the trenches, I learn how to hustle. I get the cabbage, the lettuce, the Brussels. I make $1 million, then triple, then double. Upgrade the with a laser and muzzle. I'm on a whole nother level, I'm geeky. You think you with me, boy, you tweaking. Ready for war, I just need me a reason. I'm getting buckets in regular season. Honestly wondering when I'ma lose it. Come get your wifey, she with it, she choosing. Maybe I be driving itself, I be cruising. All the little women that's quoting my tweets. I don't know if they want a piece of my I'm a boss, you know I'm elite. I cannot take a loss, cause I'm playing for keeps. When I step out the house, watch the money increase. I be robbing the net, call the police. Feeling immortal, I feel like Lil Reese. You get turned paranormal if I see you reach. Ghost, DDG Charters, that between too much on my mama, he doing the most. I really hate him, but low-key I really with him. I check for whatever he posts. That doing too much, I want Hallie to drop him. Let's make a petition and vote. How about y'all quit and go get some motion and take my out of your throat?
Are you a small business looking to get your message heard? Why not advertise with us? We have a range of ideas that can help grow your business, cut through the social media noise, and talk directly to your audience. Contact info@radio2funky.co.uk or call us on 011 62 55 9837. Don't believe radio works? You're listening, aren't you?
Now you're wishing you could play me. Your new ting cool, but she ain't me. My boy came with an upgrade, so when you see him, you're gonna hate me. Miss me with your license talk. You had your cake and you ate with your knife and fork. For you, I did the maddest stuff. Remember, I was in your crib, and even when I felt like I had enough, I was never out here acting up. No, I never do you wrong, and you knew this. That's why you took the. You're a Judas. Never thought you could put me through this. I was the only one that knew where the food is. Remember when you came out, you was on license. I picked you up and I didn't even have a license. I told you stay away from fakes, they be liars. Your friends with 6ix9ine you for some sirens, oh. But you didn't wanna listen. No, you didn't see the vision. You were stuck up in the system, oh. Now you're wishing you could play me. Your new ting cool, but she ain't me. My boy came with an upgrade, so when you see him, you're gonna hate me. Miss me with your license talk. You had your cake and you ate with your knife and fork.
It's Diana Drill, Mazza on the track.
On 95 FM, on DAB, and online at radio2funky.co.uk.
How you guys feeling tonight?
Leicester's black music and arts station, Radio 2 Funky.
Welcome back, folks. We're in the last half an hour of the show on the Arts Business Show. This is DDG. We had an I'm Geeking, followed by Diana Drill, Knife and Fork. Just come out to 11:33. Let me read out one more thing on the bulletin board, and then we're going to have a chat about companies in the last bit of the show before we have Sandro Rhythm Nation coming on at 12 o'clock. Now, spoken word. Are you somebody, a liker of poetry? Are you a participant? Is that something you want to get into? Well, check out Some Antics Spoken Word Night on Friday the 19th of May 2023, just in case you thought it was going to be 2024, or just in think, of course, it was going back to last year. So this is Some Antics bringing you an open mic, a poetry slam. Ninja Bob playing tunes and a feature from their 2022 Slam Champion. Poetry starts at 8 p.m. There are 10 slots available, by the way, folks, as well as 7 slam slots. So it's going to be action-packed, and it's got to be original material only. Now, the slam winner gets a £25 prize, pretty good, and a place in the 2023 Champion Slam. Now, you can book your slot by messaging Some Antics on their socials. Where does it take place, I hear you ask? Well, it's taking place at the Gray's Coffee Shop and Kitchen, Lima Echo 1 Romeo Echo. Do you like that phonetic alphabet bit I did? And it's taking place on the 19th of May between 7 and 10:30 p.m. So if you fancy doing that, either to go along to watch or taking part, then check it out here. If you are a poet, if you're something, you want to develop your poetry skills, that's the sort of thing you think, I want to give it a go. It's going to be great to build up those performance muscles, and a great way to get your poetry, your art, your performance in front of a crowd of wonderful people. So check it out. That takes place on the 19th next week between 7 and 10:30. But check out the details so you make sure you get that slot if you do actually want that slot there as well. Now, did you know, folks, there are about 5 million limited companies in the United Kingdom? If you hear that word limited companies, what does it mean to you? Well, in essence, if you start a business, a project, an organisation, you've got a number of ways that you can have what's called a business model you can be. Now, a company, first of all, let me just give you some overview about that. In legal terms, a company is actually a person. That sounds odd, doesn't it? So if, for example, Mahmood Reza, your wonderful host on the Arts Business Show, was to form a company tomorrow, I'd get some paperwork done. I'd do some form filling, submit my application to those wonderful people at Companies House, and I could create a separate legal being called Mahmood Reza Limited. Now, in legal terms, that documentation, that process I've gone through has created in law a separate legal person. That person, that entity, that thing, that Mahmood Reza Limited, can take out contracts under the umbrella of Mahmood Reza Limited. It can employ people, it can engage and get supplies provided to it, and in law it's separate from the individuals that effectively own or control that business. So me, Mahmood Reza, is separate from Mahmood Reza Limited there as well. The other thing to bear in mind, the two main substratas of companies are either ones that have got shares, that sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Or ones that are limited by guarantee. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about that distinction for now, but I'm just going to comment briefly on those companies that are formed, and you are, me, Mahmood Reza, as the owner of that thing. And in legal terms, if I was to pass away, to retire, to put my feet up on a hammock somewhere in the Caribbean and didn't run a business anymore, my Mahmood Reza Limited would still be there unless I formally dissolve it and get rid of it. So perpetuity, it can survive and be passed on from generation to generation. So that's one big thing here we've got as a limited company. It's a separate legal personality. It's capable of from generation to generation. Diana Drill, Knife and Fork is what we heard just before. This is a track called Disturbing, Dark Zo and Ira Star.
Even if now we battle, carry me come, I go see raise my shoulder. I don't got time, I'm just involved and I know what I offer. But my friends say I'm loyal. If no be money, not focus. I don't have time for no one that's not putting food on my table. I'm unstable, I no send, I no send you. I no fear you. I no pretend, no strength, I no feel like. This is the reason I just keep things to myself. I mind my business, I don't mind nobody else's. I stack my cash in silence, no one has to know. I'm on my own. So why is my happiness disturbing? Why is my happiness disturbing? So why is my happiness disturbing? Oh no, don't come up my zone. Only real ones in my condo. We pull up in a green Lambo. In case you don't know, I tell low. You don't know we are so far gone. More love to my few day ones. Enemies but they hate on us. We goes to show love. Oh, this why I'm not good. I forget my life for love. They don't chop my head down, but I still know reason cause I did live my life. So why is my happiness disturbing? Why is my happiness disturbing? So why is my happiness disturbing? Why is my happiness So why is my happiness disturbing you? Said I've been on my knees to find you to be free.
Yeah. Welcome back, folks, here. And that was Disturbing, Darku and Erda Star. It is 11:40. Let's talk about personalities. Let's talk about companies here. And I think we're going to shove this over into next week's show as well. So let's just get a flavour. Let's get some of the main elements here. So you've got this thing you created. Typically, if you imagine a cake, you might say that I've got shares in this company. And that means you're an actual owner. So if the company does really well, if the company's got surplus money, you can actually withdraw that and reward yourself, just like you would be a shareholder in a major UK PLC or international PLC. You are the owner owner of the company if you're a shareholder. What that means, by the way, as the business changes and evolves, it gets bigger, it changes its dynamics, you can bring more people into the fold to help you run the company, be company directors, be owners. That's entirely up to you. One of the other main features why people love limited companies is protection. So if you run your business as an individual, if something goes wrong in terms of accidents, if something goes wrong in terms of financially, you personally are liable and exposed to any actions that you commit while you're doing that. So therefore, your personal assets, your house, your property, anything else you have could be under the spotlight and could be at risk of being lost. Once you create a limited company, it's the company that's liable for any of those misdoings, if you want to use a term like that. If it gets into financial problems, it's the company that gets exposed to that, not your personal assets, unless you're given a personal guarantee. The individual owner of the company is only exposed and liable for any money they haven't paid for their shares when they've started initially. And bear in mind, typically most people nowadays, when they start a brand new company, they'll owe potentially a maximum of £1 for those shares. That's not a large amount of money involved. Different story if your business is established. So that's the exposure, that personal liability. Other reasons as well that people love companies is because of the flexibility it gives them to save money. And by saving money, it means saving tax. Now, I'm not going to make you all go to sleep, make you gouge your eyes out here, but as a general rule of thumb, running a business as an individual, once you get past a certain sweet spot, and running that business through a limited company, collectively, you will pay less tax running it through a company than you will do as an individual itself. You've got much more flexibility for planning, opportunities to reduce that tax exposure. There are, by the way, it's not all honey and roses. There are additional costs involved in running an organisation compared to a sole trader. So there's always going to be a trade-off that you've got to take into account as far as that is concerned.
Yeah. Simtex, what up? Back in the building, you know, Sim was actually the first person to welcome me into this country. So it feels good to be home. Shout out to Matronica, shout out to Nikita. Chicago to London, Vic Mensa, we in the building. A year ago to this day, I was sitting in a jail cell. I bailed out 20K and told the judge to farewell. 365 days later, had 50K people at the festival. It barely feels real. I rewrote my narrative out of sheer will. The first in my family heritage to see a meal. I come from a poverty-stricken Ghanaian system. Slum villages with no running water conditions. Pops came to America, they locked me in prison. First time I envisioned seeing a rock 6th grade. Jakari's headed on a blacktop. The white boy put it in tinfoil and passed out. Ashley in a back alley taking. That was the same Christmas that I got an Xbox. Gang members from back then now got a halo. Black stones throwing the 5 like they was Thanos. Knocked out and grab his shoes like Fabo. When Collie Park was doing a snap dance, I dreamed I'd be on top of the hood like Dash Cam. Where Pops pray I don't be another murder black man. 93 boys serving bags. Killing them soft like a Roberta Flack jam. I'm going hard, Vic Iron Man. You cross your own circle like a Venn diagram. I seen Pauline turn dope fiends. They brains addicted to chemicals and the morphine. You rap about drug use to get you more streams. Well, shorty's ODing on Fetty at 14. This whole culture's convoluted for real. That sickness why my kind of movement is ill. Just to think I emerged the same moment as drill. But I never killed no one, I just got a human appeal. That musical skill and truth to reveal. Record labels, Kama Sutra deals. They don't break artists, they take what you could build. Put that red dot on your head, I'll shoot to kill. Hand painted LV duffel bag. College girls on my never did undergrad. Don't try to run up on me thinking I'm an MC. You know I keep a hammer on me, make you do the running man. Still in the field, check my rushing yards. We'll crash your double R like it was bumper cars. Bumper clapboard on one war. If you was on the same golf hole with me, you couldn't get up to par. Alright, wait, let it play. Let it play. Alright, Peasy, bring me back in. A decade in the industry, I still feel like I'm just getting started. Even even though I did O2 Arena in the garden. Any artist on a major label, get an audit. Regardless, I'll be with more fives than kindergarten. Don't matter how many gangsters you got in your cipher. Them contract loopholes too hard to decipher. You be on the beat thinking you harder than lifers. You just a corporate slave to bargaining prices. Talking the hardest cause I'm the nicest. Blew up before I grew up like a child joining ISIS. Or Khalif Browder and Rikers. I'm on the island with an Indiana James chain in my gold medallion. Yo, ma, we prone to violence. Game full of scammers, I'm here to restore the balance. Could've bought for Dallas, keep a 40 cowboy. Caught me with a magazine, now I'm in the tabloids. Had a dream, then I woke up in a Lamborghini. Trying to reach Nirvana like I'm in Aberdeen. Still trapping lean, they scamming, they scheme. Punching moves like Jagger, no Adam Levine. I skate out on them like Avril Lavigne. Some text. Vic Mess in the building, Chicago to London. Shoreditch Vic back in the building, man. You know what time it is, man. You remember Shoreditch Vic? I'm back on that. Let's go.
Leicester's Black Music and Art Station, Radio 2 Funky.
Radio 2 Funky indeed, and it's very sad, moist eyes here. We're coming towards the end of the show here. That was Dishing Darku and DJ Semtex, Seminole Sound 11:47. Give or take a few seconds either side, but what's a few seconds amongst friends here? So, just to round up a couple of more comments on the limited companies there as well. I'm redacting something which is quite a potentially complex area there as well. But just in terms of some takeaways as well, it's much easier these days to form a company than it was, say, 10, 15 years ago. The procedures are quite straightforward. You can, in theory, establish a company today. A word of warning, just be very careful. I have seen lots of people make mistakes on the applications and creating it, but you've got to think carefully about whether it's right for you. But we're talking about the merits of that. And for some people, having a limited company gives them a bigger bag of prestige. It sounds better, it looks better. To some people are having that limited company badge. So obviously that's something that's got to be taken into account. Opportunities for saving money are much greater. Opportunities for raising more money for that organisation, for that company, is much greater than it might be for a sole business, a sole trader. So you've got lots of merits behind that, but obviously treat them all with caution. That's what you need to do.
Yo, Fan Lions, Kenna, let's go. Ooh, Trinidad, Africa, and now Nigeria.
Do what you never do. See what I never see. Hear what the man never talk. Do what you never do. See what I never see. Hear what the man never talk. Move my team. People they cap is a new life team. Too many people no go charge my scene. I saw my neck so I got my peace, got my peace. Move my team. People they cap is a new life team. Too many people no go charge my scenes. I saw my neck so I got my peace, got my peace. As the sun comes up, me don't say prayers. I go sweep up everything under my sleepers. Put on my motivation, I'm a real hustler. I got no destination, I'm a traveler. Forget the past things and do the next things. You don't remind me I'm new. You catch the vibing, it's quite unlikely. I'm here to catch feels and lose. Many men with many plans and many rants under my head. I pray for strength, can't comprehend what they be saying. Many men with many plans and many rants under my head. I pray for strength, can't comprehend what they be saying. Oh. Do what you never do. See what I never see. Hear what the man never talk. Do what you never do. See what I never see. Hear what the man never talk.
See them I watch my move and them I call a phone. See them see me in a California. Chatty cause them can't afford ya. So me never move alone. See them a watch my move and them a call a phone. See me shopping in a California. Chatty cause them can't afford ya. So me never move alone. All in vacation mode, them a watch. All when we day out a road, them a watch. My team still look good, them a watch. Flights not feelings, you know we not catch. All in vacation mode, them a watch. My team roll out a road, them a watch. You see you're not wrong, my team. So you really can't judge my scene, nah.
Do what you never do. See what I never see. Hear what man never talk. Do what you never do. See what I never see. Hear what man never talk. Move my team. People they copies a new life team. Too many people no go charge my scene. I saw my neck so I got my peace, got my peace. Move my team. People they copies a new life team. Too many people no go charge my scenes. I saw my neck so I got my peace, got my peace.
Leicester's Black Music and Art Station, Radio 2 Funky.
Folks, that was Do Kene, and it's 11:52, pretty much, give or take a few seconds either side. 8 minutes of the show to go. But remember, you've got brilliant DJs that are going to follow this. Sandro sitting in the reception area getting pumped up for his show, 12 till 2, Rhythm Nation. Then you've got Wayne McDonald, 2 till 4. Sugar Radio, tasty music for tasty people, followed by Brett Costello. Urban Meltdown, playing urban and soul between 4 and 6, followed by Vibes with LVT. I'm a piano, hip-hop and R&B between 6 and 8. Dance, house, UK garage, dominate. That's between 8 and 10, and then finishing up, take us up the golden age of hip-hop, DJ KMS, between 10 and 12. Have a wonderful week. If you're a Leicester fan out there, fingers are crossed that you survive the drop. Third from bottom. The points are it's quite tight at that bottom area. I'm obviously hoping that Leicester does well. I'm also hoping my primary team, Spurs, we're probably going to finish 7th here, but it's going to be an interesting footballing weekend. Hoping the weather holds out. It's going to be the weather's going to get better, but don't forget to take your sou'wester. Make sure you've got something protected, your plastic bag in your pocket, just in case it starts raining, or a brolly. That would be really crazy, wouldn't it, to have a brolly instead of a plastic bag? Maybe that's just me, in terms of who doesn't look like to carry brollies, doesn't always carry plastic bags either. Interest rates, let's fingers crossed it doesn't go up too mad. This very financial challenging environment we find ourselves is still going to be there for some time. Inflation's still at a nice high. Nice happy note to finish the show off. Coming up there, we'll have more of this in next week's show and beyond. But have a good week, folks. You've got some events going on. Whatever you do, stay sanguine, stay positive and upbeat. And I'm going to play you out with Mountain of Things, Tracy Chapman, followed by High Fashion.
Life I've always wanted, I guess I'll never have. I'll be working for somebody else until I'm in my grave. I'll be dreaming of a life of ease and mountains, oh, mountains of thanks. To have a big expensive car, drag my furs on the ground. Have a maid I can tell to bring me anything. Everyone will look at me with envy and with greed. Now revel in their attention and mountains, oh mountains of thanks. Sweet lazy life, champagne and caviar. Hope you come and find me, 'cause you know who we are. Those who deserve the